Say what now?
I mean, I know you got a lot of accents.
Well, well, I wasn't. I mean, no one told me I should have prepared.
She said, "I know you got
story.
a
I
lot of
wasn't ready
accents."
to tell any type of. Her name was Rebecca, and I was head over heels for Rebecca. I don't mean smitten wouldn't do it justice. She could do no wrong in my eyes. And I mean, don't get me wrong. She had a couple quirks and some oddities, if you will. But you know, when it's early, those are just cute, right? So Rebecca was just my angel. But like any relationship, you know, things happen and you get into arguments and things can get bad. And this was the mother of all arguments. We had a huge argument. I thought it was going to be over, but Rebecca, being the amazing woman she was, she called me and said, "You know what? Let's talk face to face and try to hash things out." And this was great to me because I didn't want it to end. Like I said, I was head over heels for the girl. So she comes over. And we're talking, it's going well, and I needed to take a pause because I had to use the bathroom, so I go use the bathroom, and as I'm washing my hands, I hear boom, 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 someone run past the bathroom, out the front door, out the house. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I jump out, I come out the bathroom, I go out my front door, and I see Rebecca jumping into her car and speeding down the street. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I said, you know what, let me go back in the house, grab my phone, give her a call, find out what just happened and convince her to come back. Except my phone was nowhere to be found. I looked everywhere. And then I realized Rebecca stole my phone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, weird. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? You know, what do I do? So I jump on my computer, I go on my Gmail, and my buddy, Rafiq, just happened to be on GChat.
Just getting out of the visual line of sight so you can all see me, because I'm very short. So I am a single gentleman, circa, this is March or so, and I'm still single right now, but thank you. I'm gay, so sorry women. So anyways, I'm doing as most gay men do, and I go on the apps, and I'm looking at things on Scruff, and I'm looking at cute boys, and I see this really adorable guy. He is like right in my age bracket, totally my type. And so I start scruffing with him and chatting and noticing that like he's super fucking adorable. We have some good one-liners, and like eventually like, yeah, we should hang out sometime. Now he lives in Wilmington, Delaware, and so that's kind of far away from Philly. I live in South Philly, so, and I don't have a car. It's somewhat challenging to get anywhere. So anywho, we chat, nothing ever happens, which can happen on Scruff. And then like, probably somewhere in July or something, he pops up again. He must be in Philly, because clearly he doesn't live here. And we chat some more, have a little back and forth. It's like, okay, maybe we should hang out sometime. Here's my number. Give him my number, I think, and I probably saved his number in my phone, but again, nothing happens. So, cut to December, and at some point along the lines, we discovered that we have some form of mutual friends, and we clearly had faith, like one of us had decided like, oh, I remember you from Scruff, and Facebook friended one another. So, we do that, and clearly we've noticed one another. We've, I think, liked one another's posts, which you know is like a big commitment for someone that you clearly are sort of stalking, but haven't actually like committed to real stalking. So anyways, we run into each other at Tavern on Kamak. I don't know if any of you fine people know. Lovely piano bar, intended for gays, but straights are welcome. So he is there, and it's like, and genuinely flirt and try to like suss out like, are we attracted to each other? Are we interested in one another? And so he really like dives in.
7 and 8. All right.
All right. My father, he was such a good spy, I didn't even know who he spied on. And I like to spy on the people I love, namely my romantic partners. So never give me your iPhone password. Summer of 2017, I am stupid in love. Like this guy, he wasn't from the United States. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be romantic if we got married?
I ain't even hear him.
And, cause like I'm a double Leo in Sun and Moon. And so I sometimes lose my head in these situations. And I was like,
Number two.
wouldn't it be great if we got married? And I told him this, and he was like, no, it wouldn't, because we don't know each other that well. And then, the same week, we're riding on the subway together. We're looking at the map on his phone, and if you have an iPhone, you know that little thing where a box shows up at the top of your screen?
Yes.
Or someone texts you. I see that box on his screen from his ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, can you tell me a little bit about that? And he's like,
Time to
oh,
fight.
well, she started texting me recently. She's having a hard time. And in this situation, my grandfather, who was a spy, would stick with it until he found out what was the real story there. And so I am following, right? I'm following the family profession, and I'm gonna figure out what's the real story here. So that Saturday, when I'm over at his house, when we're watching a movie on Netflix, he goes to the bathroom. And I look at his iMessages. And I see a chat with one of his close friends where he's saying, like, yeah, she started texting me again. I don't know what's up, but I kind of want to get back together with her. I like to believe that people are sometimes elude one kind of appearance, but in reality have another secret mission. And I hope that one day I can meet someone who doesn't want to be a spy, but just wants to be their whole selves and completely honest.
Amen. Beer goggles.
Immediate, mutual, and electric. We closed out that bar, and I walked her home hand in hand, and on the way it started to rain, so I pulled her in for a kiss, and she practically pounced on me, sucking face like a pretty high schooler after prom. A cop car even pulled up next to us, shining a flashlight on us to make sure that it wasn't an assault. We dated for a couple of months after that, and like every date was one of the best dates of our lives. We had a date where we shared a bottle of wine alone at Ray Street Pier before slow dancing to Motown songs at Patty's, before we snuck into a prominent Old City art gallery, fucking on the floor. An alleyway, naked on ease chairs, chain smoking cigarettes while listening
My
to
type of
Otis
guy.
Redding. We had dates where I ran 200 feet of extension cord up the side of a Society Hill apartment building so that we could project a movie on a wall with the city skyline.
How
as a
romantic.
backdrop.
Oh, wow.
So we dated for a couple of months, and I was just totally enamored with her, and I thought the feelings were mutual. So we went away on a vacation to a ranch house, and we did what couples at ranch houses do. We got stoned and fucked like rabbits.
Whoa.
And the next day, we were that like obnoxious, cute couple exploring New Hope together while holding hands. And it was on the drive back, like 15 minutes away from Philadelphia, when she said those 4 dreaded words. She's from Minnesota. She said, Greg, we need to talk. You know how I was gonna, travel to South America this winter to volunteer? Well, I'm actually leaving in like 2 weeks, and I'm never coming back to Philadelphia. And you know how I had that platonic male friend who was gonna visit me for a weekend? Well, he's actually coming for like 10 days. We're going to the shore together, and then after he leaves, I have to go back to Minnesota. So I don't think we're ever gonna see each other again. Oh, look, you're home now. Okay, bye-bye. Totally caught me off guard. Like, just, what the fuck? But I know, like, a couple of months doesn't make a relationship super serious, and I didn't want to be shitty and possessive, so I, like, laid low while her friend visited. Her tall, handsome, long-haired, wheat-dealing, surfer, Matthew McConaughey-looking motherfucking platonic friend, my ass!
Sound like you got it.
So, we did get together for a drink after he left, and I just poured my heart out to her, trying to make a case for why we should stay in communication. And she said, oh, Greg, I'm going to South America, like the jungle. They don't have mail or email there. Meanwhile, like, I see her texting her fucking friends and colleagues there every day. She was a terrible liar. And she said, oh, geez, Greg. Oh no. I hate this part. This always happens to me. I feel like I make men feel like they mean more to me than what they really do. Look, I'm traveling right now. And the fun of traveling is to be somebody you're not. And to date men, you would never date back home. Oh, geez, Greg, I could never be serious with a guy like you. It was like the cruelest fucking breakup I ever went through. Like, she had to convince me to hang out again so that she could reword her whole rejection so that it didn't make her look so bad. But at the time, I was just too flabbergasted to understand or accept. I'm going through all of her daily text messages, how every night was one of the best nights of her life, how wet she is thinking about me, how great everything was. So I'm convinced this is that part of that crappy romantic movie where it's my role to chase her down at the airport before the credits roll. And let me tell you, when a woman rejects you, don't chase. So I'm like an artist and a hopeless romantic, which is just a euphemism for fucking crazy. So I had been like working on these paintings for her, and I was gonna bring them to her house the night before she left the city. And I was gonna bring like a giant fucking boombox and like play our song from outside the window. And I told my friends about this plan, and they all said the same thing. Oh, Jesus Christ, Greg, you're fucking nuts. Don't do this. Please, don't do this. So I went to the house where she was staying, and when I got there, the windows were open, and there were balloons everywhere, and loud music, and lots of voices. It was very apparent that she was having this big going away party, which made me a little nervous about my plan, but I thought, no, her friends are all gonna agree. This is romantic and endearing, not creepy. So I texted her to come to the window, and I pick up the boombox, and I put it up over my head, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And I think maybe the party's too loud. So I call her, and I can hear the phone ringing in the window, and I can hear her saying, oh shit, Greg's calling me, what do I do? And I hear someone say, just ignore him. And then I see two of her friends walking down the street, and they see me standing there with the paintings and the boombox, and they look horrified, like they just spotted some creeper masturbating himself in the car with a slice of cheese. So I left the paintings and I went home, and I know I am now her crazy ex story that she's going to tell like every future Tinder date, and maybe for all I know, hopefully she'll come to a story slam and tell her end of it. She did send me like a thank you text a couple days later for the artwork. She said her phone was dead that night. Like I said, terrible fucking liar. But this is where the story gets a little meta. 2 years ago, I told this story at the X-Files Story Slam, and afterwards, some random guy came up to me, and he's like, dude, I know your ex. And I was like, man, I know this is a small city and all, but I like changed all the characteristics about her. And he said, I was at the fucking party while you were outside with those paintings in the boombox. Dude, everyone loved your artwork. Everyone was rooting for you. Everyone was telling her to call you and like bring you back to the party. He's like, I hope you don't mind. I just texted her to tell her about this because you just totally slayed and she's totally going to get a kick out of this. And I was like, nah, man, she's totally not going to get a kick out of this. She's totally going to think I'm even crazier. But then again, I guess you ought to stick to what you're good at. And I know if she never dates another artist, I'm definitely the reason why. And that artist that she won't date should be thankful for me because at least he won't waste his time developing feelings for some woman who has borderline personality disorder. Thank you.
There before telling me. I mean, he was beautiful, but I was just embarrassed. Cut to a year later, I had met all these incredible women from all over, from Wales, California.
He said, do I gotta label everything
So
that I don't want you to eat?
it was a terrible breakup. It was like a year-long breakup, just fighting, getting back together, and breaking up again, fighting and breaking together. At one point, the next Transformers movie came out. And I go to see that, obviously, I have to go see that. I'm watching the next Transformers movie, and I'm sitting there, and I realized, oh shit, he wasn't crying because Optimus Prime died. He was crying because he was dating my girlfriend. And then I made fun of him for crying. Come on, guys, loosen up. This is 4 Transformers movies ago. Come on. I like somehow cuckolded my cuckold. It's insane that this happened. I made the guy who was dating my girlfriend behind my back cry and then ridiculed him in front of everyone. I think I won. I think I won that one. And I'm done, guys. Thanks so much.
We did it on Valentine's Day. Hey. Look, and I come here looking all mommy. And drinks are strong, man. Yes, they are. One and done. One and done. I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
You know, this is the closest thing we have to Optimus Prime Transformer. So there you go, man.
Oh, wow.
And it's looking like a John Deere, yeah. John Deere.
A John Deere. They gave him a truck. Yeah. He said it looked like a John Deere.
All right.
He said it looks like
So
a
check
John
it out,
Deere.
everybody. After we get our scores, we're going to go to intermission. But first,
He said John Deere.
if you're
John
feeling
Deere.
it and you want to tell a story, just come
So you
to
gave him a little
Jen
yellow
here
tractor
or
look thing. He
Connor
said, look,
in the
he
back
said,
right
look, look,
there
thing that looks
and
like a
submit your
triangle,
name.
a
Come on
transformer.
up.
He said, or a John Deere, a John
Yeah,
Deere.
we can do it, right? Also, don't forget that all of the storytellers tonight will be recorded on our YouTube channel. And if you don't get picked this evening, or if you're too shy, you can call the story hotline at 267-989-9155. Now for the score.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Everybody all right? 2018, new year, new me. 2017 wasn't the best year. I learned a lot about myself. For instance, I learned I look like shit in a V-neck t-shirt. And a marriage. I think I got divorced because nobody tells you when you get married that all monogamy is living with the same person who hates the way you load the dishwasher. Like, that's it. So I was married for 4 years. I'm not sure what went wrong. Because when it comes to matters of the heart, I like to listen to the great poet, Rob Bass, and DJ Easy Rock.
Hey.
Because it takes two to make a thing go right.
Yes, it does.
The problem was in my marriage, it just wasn't working at all. So we decided to call it quits. So we decided to call it quits in 2016. The divorce process.
2016.
So it wasn't until January of last year, of 2017, that I became officially divorced. So I was very happy about this, by the way. So I was happy for it until last Valentine's Day. Until last Valentine's Day, when I was just minding my own business, kind of stoned at home. And I got a flurry of text messages that were pictures of my ex-wife with her ex-boyfriend, the guy she dated before me.
Oh, wow.
Right!
Right.
Fucking right!
Right?
So I lose my mind!
I would have
And I grabbed
too.
all the shit she ever gave me, all of it, and just went in my backyard and lit a fire and set it all aflame. Right? That's what you're supposed to do. But the problem was I couldn't get rid of one thing that I had. It was our wedding ring. The one wedding ring that she had given me. The symbol of everlasting love. And that kind of says, hey, I don't want to fuck my old boyfriend anymore. So it's not like when you have an old wedding ring, it's not like you can just like march through Middle Earth to Mordor and throw it back in the fires of Mount Doom from whence it came.
Right.
Like that can't happen, right? So what I did was, I realized that you have to understand something. I was going out, right after I found out that she was like back together with her ex-boyfriend, I went out and did what normal people do. I got in a lot of fights at bars. At 39.
You ain't never lied.
And drank a lot, and smoked a lot of dope.
Sounds about right.
Very well.
He party.
So I realized I had a joint friend. So I was like, you know what, I can't get rid of this ring. There's nothing I can do with it. What the fuck am I going to do with this ring?
Keeping it real
I know it's
is
like
wrong.
white gold, and it's worth a little bit of money. So I go in, I march, and I march into my, of course he's Italian, he's a fucking jeweler. So, and we're all from working Upper Darby, so it's like, you know. So I walk in and I'm like, look, man, I can get rid of this. I was like, I don't want this shit anymore. The best part about it, you know what? You know, like you get, certain couples get things engraved in their rings. Do you know what mine said?
Oh, Lord.
It's a trap!
Oh.
From Star Wars, my favorite film.
Wow.
I should have fucking known better.
Oh.
So I go to my buddy, I go, Paul, I want to get rid of this thing. I can't have it anymore. So he's like, all right, dude, I'll give you a couple $100, whatever. And he looks at me and he goes, well, what are you going to do with the money now that you have this money from your wedding ring? I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And so I drove on the way home. I was like, you know what I'm going to do with the money from this wedding ring? I'm going to have a Skype phone call with a porn star.
No.
Dead serious. $200 for 10 minutes.
He said
with my
dead
favorite porn star.
serious.
And it was in that moment when I was sitting there and she's looking at me and I'm looking at her and I just, at the time I was very drunk all the time. So I'm fat and bloated. My body looks like some kid building on Minecraft.
No. It says like
I'm covered in hand cream. And my own semen.
Oh, no.
And all I could think of was I paid $40,000 for that wedding. $1,000 for my wedding ring.
You ain't never
Let me tell you
lied.
something.
No.
It was all fucking worth it to talk to Alexis Monroe. Thank you
True
all.
story. True story.
That's
what they like.
A lot of what that meant.
Yes, he is.
I was vacating my apartment. She was moving into her first apartment. And there was just a lot of, like those logistics, right? Like CDs, this was a long time ago. Just a lot of conversations about like, yeah, but what do we do
No, he was like one of
now?
them,
I had been her entire college like, social
maybe
connection. And we just had like all those like hanging chads, I call them, in a relationship. And I was just trying to figure out what to do.
I know how to edit.
I'd made some promises over the previous year and a half, some of which I could keep and some of which I definitely could not. One of which was, we'll live in the White House someday. That's not going so great, folks, on a lot of levels.
Something we all think about.
Something I had also promised her, much more mundane, was that at some point in my life, I would buy her a kitten.
Oh, Lordy.
I am definitely allergic to cats.
Oh, that's even
She
worse.
requested several times over,
Get our hairless
will you
one.
get me a kitten someday? Sure. Seemed like a good idea at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I just kept this in mind as we're splitting up and figuring out where to go with our lives. And then an opportunity came out of AOL Instant Messenger in the form of an away message. I told you it was a long time ago.
AOL Instagram.
My friend
Look,
Melody,
I got
this little
AOL. Don't
dear
be
friend,
busting on my AOL now.
her away message was, hey, my friend, her cat just had a litter. Is anybody looking for kittens?
Uh-oh.
Oh, look at this. AOL Instant Messenger.
AOL Instant Messenger.
The girlfriend didn't know anything, ex-girlfriend I should say, didn't know anything about my AOL Instant Messenger plans. And so I messaged Melody and I said, hey, how do I kind of go on about this? She said, oh, you just kind of come over to the apartment. And I said, to be clear, this is for my ex-girlfriend, Melody. She kind of like paused. Sure. Seems like a thing you should do, Neil. Great. This story's not so much about Eve or Melody or Sheep, the great cat. The story's about how cool I am. So strap in for another minute, folks. So I thought,
How
great,
cool I
if she
am.
gets this kitten, we're leaving it on kind of a high note, 5-star Yelp review for this guy at college, and everything will be great going forward. And about 2 years later, I met a band.